1. Now, sorry, 1, 1. Wrong one. So this one tells us in the, what is it? Our directions. So let's look at this. Divide the polynomials. The form of your answer should either be p of x or p of x plus k over x minus 6, where p of x is a polynomial and k is an integer. So what this means is your answer for this, I don't know what it is right now, should either be a polynomial without an integer or not an integer, a polynomial without a remainder, or a polynomial with a remainder, and the remainder is written in this way. So please remember, the remainder is going to be written this way in this case, okay? So let's take a look. Let's hop back over to the whiteboard. All right. Oop, my fault. All right, this time we know that we are going to do this both ways. So we got a lot of different things that we can do. We just got to make sure that we use which way we feel comfortable with. Let's do the first one. So I set up my two polynomials, the big ones inside, small ones outside. Now I make sure that there's no x to whatever powers I'm skipping over. So I'm going in from whatever the highest power is to the next highest to the next highest to the one that doesn't have a power at all. So everything's all set up nice and good. That means that when we do this, there's no placeholders we got to put, and we're able to just jump right into the division. So let's go through and do this. Alright, first bit of the division that we got here. We got to get x to look like 2x to the third power. So before we do anything, let's set up our parentheses, our line, the minus sign. So we want to get x to look like 2x to the third power. We know that our x needs a 2, and since our x is to the third power, we need 2 more x's. So we're going to put x to the second. That's 2 more x's for us. So we go through, we do the multiplication. 2x times x gives us 2x to that third power. Now 2x squared times negative 6, 2 times negative 6 gives us a negative 12x squared. And now we go through, we do the rest of our subtraction. So the first 2 terms in both of these canceling out, like how it should. If it doesn't cancel out, that means that you don't have the correct terms there. Now we got negative 13 minus negative 12. Since those minus signs are going to be right in front of each other, we got negative 13 plus 12, which will give us a negative x squared, a negative 1x. So when I bring down my next term, I got 9x. We're going to set up our parentheses, set up our lines, our minus signs. Now we're all good. Now, you want x to look like negative x squared. That means that we want to turn our sign into the next type of sign. So that means that we're going to have to use a negative. And since x needs to turn into x squared, we're going to need a negative x. So we go through. We got negative x times x. That gives me negative x squared. Negative x times negative 6 will give me a positive 6x. Now I go through, I do my math. Now both of these will cancel out just like how I did the last time. Now we got 9 minus 6. That's going to give me a 3x. Now we bring this down. Now, just as a hint, we see that in our directions, there's 2 answers that we can get. We can get either a polynomial or a polynomial with a remainder. If you can see in our math so far, we know that there's no way that 6 is going to turn into 16 through multiplication. So that means that we will get a remainder. So if it helps, we know that after whatever this next term is, we will see a remainder. Don't freak out. So we want to turn x into 3x. That means that we got to put a 3 on that thing. So we're going to put a 3 right here. So we got 3x underneath. Now 3 times negative 6 gives me a negative 18. And now we're going to subtract. So 3x minus 3x, those cancel out. Now negative 16 minus negative 18, that means that we have 16 minus negative 18, that turns into 16 plus 18, which gives us a positive 2 from there. So we got a positive 2 as a remainder. Now up top, let's fill in the rest of our signs if there needs to be. 2x is fine, negative x is fine. We're going to have to put a plus sign here between the x and the 3. And then for our remainder was a positive 2. So let's put this plus sign here. It's a positive. Now we're going to put a 2 up here. And then underneath, we're going to put our remainder part. So that x minus 6, good thing they told us from earlier. So x minus 6. There we go. So that means this is all our final answer. We got 2x squared minus x plus 3 plus 2 over x minus 6. Now we're going to double check this with our synthetic division just to make sure that we got this correct. So for the synthetic division part, what we got here, we're going to go through, let's move some of this stuff down just so it doesn't clash with the other problem. Sorry about the wait. Let's move this down here. Okay. So first off, we need a 0 from x minus 6. We know that our 0 from this is going to be a result of us adding the 6 to the other side, which means that x equals 6. So we're going to put this 6 right here. Now, to the left of our 6, we're going to put all of our coefficients from our polynomial. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 things that we're going to put next to it. So let's put all these there. We got positive 2 from our x to the third. We have negative 13 from our x squared. We got 9. Let me scoot this out. Yeah, there we go. We got our 9 from our 9x, and then we got minus 16 from our very last term. So let's put our line underneath, and we're going to see if it matches up. So we're going to bring down first off our 2. We got 6 times 2 is what we're going to do. 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. That means that it comes up right here. Now negative 13 plus 12 gives us this negative 1. Now we got 6 times negative 1. That's negative 6. 9 minus 6, or 9 plus negative 6 is 3. Now we got 2 times 3. Sorry, not 2 times 3. 6 times 3. That gives me an 18. And then negative 16 plus 18 is going to give me a 2. So we get the same significant numbers that we had from before here. We got all the numbers that came up from our answer. It comes up right here. 2, negative 1, 3, 2. 2, negative 1, 3, 2. These are all the same numbers. Now we know that we were at x to the third in our original answer. That means everything here in our new one is going to have 1 less x. So we start off, we're going to fill these all in. We start off with an x to the second power. Then we go through with an x. Then our last term, our 3, doesn't have an x, but then our 2 has that nasty little fraction in here. So we're going to put that nasty little fraction right there. Bang. And then we're going to put in any signs that we need to. We got to put a plus sign between x and 3, and a plus sign between 3 and 2 over x minus 6. So we'll end up with the same answer. But now, for the moment of truth, let's check to see if our question is right. Let's go over here. So we have a big answer this time, so make sure that you put these in the correct places. First off, we got 2x to the second power. That's our first part. And we got minus x. You can put the 1x in there. You don't need to, though. Then we got plus 3. And then we got plus, we got to put our remainder in there. So we're going to hit this fraction part. Bang. 2. And then on the bottom, we got x minus 6. Now, moment of truth. The drum roll, please. There we go. And we did it, folks. So this is an example of all 3 of your assignments for today. Everything here works out just the same way how it did from our little bit of work that we've done together. Now, feel free to go through. You can go through the video, pause it at any point. You can see the process that I go through for all of our methods. We can go through long division for these. We can go through synthetic division for these. Notice the synthetic division does go a little bit quicker, and it has a little less x's for you to keep track of. You're only just keeping track of the coefficients. The only tricky part is at the end where you're putting all the x's. So, if you need any help, I will be here 2 to 3 on our Zoom meeting. So please make sure that you come to that if you have any questions, all right? Hope you have a great day. Make sure that you stay healthy, folks. See you later.